tonight. This is Teah Woodward. I'm Stamp with Teah. I'm located in Vancouver, Washington in the United States, and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And I am glad to be here tonight. It's a little bit of a hassle to get here though. Things just kind of got a little bit out of control, but I'm here now. And I originally had said I was going to demonstrate 2 cards, but instead I'm going to demonstrate 1. As mentioned previously, I had back surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I think I was a little over aggressive in thinking that I could do 2 cards tonight. So I'm going to do 1. I'm going to do 1 and I'm going to be okay with it. And hopefully by Monday I'll be up to doing 2. I'm going to give it a shot. So tonight I'm going to be demonstrating 1 card using the Ringed with Nature bundle. And I'm going to show you the hybrid embossing folder, excuse me. I'm going to show you the stamp set, and I'm going to show you some of the coordinating designer series paper that is available with a qualifying purchase for free as a part of Sale-A-Bration, and that is good through the end of August. So I will be showing you all of that, but before I do, I have a few other things I want to show you. So 2 nights ago, I had a team meeting. So I have a nice little team, a sweet little team. My team's name is the Paper Blessings, and I had issued a team challenge. And that challenge was a color challenge, and so I gave them 4 colors that they needed to use in a card: Crushed Curry, Bermuda Bay, Granny Apple Green, and Melon Mambo. And this is the card that I brought to the meeting. And I think it turned out rather sweet. I used the perfectly penciled designer series paper, which is a black and white, or a white with black print paper, and then I colored it in. And I think that just turned out really good. Anyway, there's a reason I wanted to share that with you. I wanted to tell you a couple of things. One of those things is I'm trying to see, there we go. I'm trying to, like I said, it's been a rough couple hours. Let me back up. What I was trying to see is I can see some comments and stuff up in the corner, but it shows in white, and I have a bright window behind me, and so I couldn't see it until I kind of covered it a little bit. So my apologies. The reason I wanted to show you the card that was from my team meeting is I wanted to tell you a little bit about why I joined Stampin' Up. So I originally joined for the discount, and it didn't take me very long to determine that I had actually joined. I told myself that I joined for the discount, but really I was looking for a community of people to craft with. I'm an avid crafter. I've been a crafter since I was in my elementary school years. I have always performed at a fairly high level of crafting. I like to try lots of things. It doesn't mean that I go back and I do it again, but I like to try things. And I thought with stamping I was just going to try something, but then I discovered that I liked teaching it. And through teaching it, I came across somebody. So during COVID, I was holding my demonstrations or mystery stamping and all of that sort of thing through Zoom and Facebook Lives. But my mystery stampings and such allowed me to meet some people. And I met somebody that crafted by herself. And then she suddenly had somebody else crafting with her. and it was somebody that she had a strained relationship with. And she shared with me in private that that person had started joining her in crafting, and through crafting, they were actually mending their relationship. It gave them a neutral territory to be together and enjoy each other's company without being combative towards each other. And that really spoke to my heart. If I could teach people something as simple as paper crafting, and it could make a difference in their lives, it was something I wanted to be a part of. So that's kind of my why I do this. I want to be a part of people's crafting journey, whether it's learning new techniques or mending relationships or starting something that they've never done before. You know, maybe they, or maybe they just want to be a part of a bigger community. And that's what I found that I really wanted, was I wanted to be a part of a bigger community. So I just wanted to take a minute and share that with you, that when people talk about the joining special, it's a lot more than just the discount. The discount's nice, for sure, but it's more. So wanted to let you know that. And I'm going to use that as a small segue and just to mention to you that there is a joining special right now. It's through the end of August. It is, you pick out $125 worth of product of your choice, Stampin' Up! Product, obviously, and you pay $99 for that product. You get free shipping on that order. You get one free paper pumpkin. That paper pumpkin is a kit, a monthly subscription that goes out. You get one free month. And this month, or through the end of this month, all of this is also free. They'll just send it to you. You don't have to order it. So there's a planner, and you can customize the planner with how you want your months laid out. If you want to list out your priorities, if you want a sketchbook in here, there's a ton of different stuff you can put in here. There's a stamp set, so if you want a bullet journal or something like that. There are 4 pages of stickers. There's a total of 3 of these smaller notebooks, and then all of these other pages. I mean, they're just so much. Anyway, that's free if you join, and if you wanted to join and you wanted to join my group that's the Paper Blessings, I would love it. I am looking to grow my community, and that's my spiel. That's what I wanted to let you know. So with that, the other thing that I want to let you know is that Sale-A-Bration, which of course I did not grab a flyer and put next to me. Sale-A-Bration is a 2-month promotion, and it was July and now through the end of August. And what that promotion is with qualifying purchases, you get free product. So it's in increments of $50, so it's $50 or $100 purchases. You get freebies. And this designer series paper I'm going to show you is actually one of the freebies. It's free with a $50 purchase, and it's pretty nice paper. So with that, I'm going to turn the camera down, and I'm going to start to demonstrate this card. And well, actually, I'm going to show you the stamp set, the hybrid, and I'll explain what that means, the hybrid die, hybrid embossing folder, I think is the right name. I'm going to show you the designer series paper, and I'm going to show you the card that we're going to make. All right, so I am going to turn the camera down. And there we go. And I did just realize, man, that looks a little fuzzy. I'm going to clean this lens just very briefly. My apologies. Whew. I think that looks better. And I am going to double check that I am live everywhere that I'm supposed to be live. It looks like it. And I'm going to make sure my volume is turned down. Ooh, it wasn't turned down on my computer. There we go. All right, we should be good to go now. Okay, here we are. So here is the stamp set that we're going to use. This is called Ringed with Nature. There's a side cut of, or like a slice up from a log, the rings. It's got mushrooms, it's got acorns, a poinsettia, a house, some sentiments. There's 22 stamps in this stamp set. This is a photopolymer stamp set, so it's easy to line things up. Here are some of the dies, and there's this whole other big die that fits on here like this, but this die actually fits in the embossing folder as well, and so it cuts out. So there's a couple of different things. The reason this is a hybrid, you can use the embossing folder just like this, and you can get an effect like this, or see if I can get this in here just right. Nope, it's going to go like that. So this is now lined up. There's a die in here. Oops, can you see that? And it will not only cut, but it will also emboss at the same time. So that's really cool. So you can get several individual pieces. And then one other thing that's really, really cool about this is that one of the pieces, well, there's 2 sheets of it, in the designer series paper that I was telling you about that you can get for free, has these, and this actually lines up on here. I can show you. So can you see that? So this lines up just like this. For tonight's card, I have pre-cut everything. And here's some samples of what I've cut. And I don't know if you, I'm going to try to get that close enough to see if you can see the embossing. So it not only did it cut it out, but it embossed the rings. So I've got texture on this as well. So that's pretty cool. But this paper is only available while supplies last or through the end of August, and that is it. Now, let me move a few of these things. There's so much here that it kind of gets a bit clustery to try to show everything. So I've shown you the hybrid embossing folder, the dies, the stamp set, moving those to one side. Now I'm going to show you this designer series paper. The name of this designer series paper is called Rings of Love. And I'll show you both sides. So here's this page that I showed you. And there's 2 of each of these. Isn't this gorgeous? I've seen some beautiful cards where this has been fussy cut and applied on the front. Oh, I guess I've got this turned funny. It's lovely floral. Some poinsettias. This is the paper that I'm using tonight. So the acorns and the leaves. Sorry, I didn't realize I had everything turned sideways. And then there are these songbirds. And I have made other cards. You've probably seen them on my YouTube channel where I did a card that was called, I want to say perched in a tree. I think I'm calling it the wrong thing, but it's definitely perched in a tree. I think maybe that is right. Anyway, and there's a bird in there, and so I've used this as the background, and I've used the bird on the front. So those are the fronts of these pages. Let me show you the backs real quick. This is cool. This is kind of got like a little frosty look to it. These are adorable. We have these houses, little neighborhood situation going on. I love this plaid. This is kind of a timeless plaid. Really could be paired with a lot of things, and you could make this look more spring, more summer, more fall, depending on what color you paired with it. Beautiful, just bare trees. And then this kind of springy, summery pink and yellow and green. So I'm going to set that aside. And bring in my supplies. I've pre-cut everything. I have to do, oh, except the inside of my card evidently. I have to do that because of my back at the moment. It's easier on me if everything gets prepared ahead of time. So I am burnishing my card base. Before I burnished it, it was 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then the piece that I have already embossed is 4 by 5 1/4. So that will be our card front, and we're going to decorate our card front. I've taken a piece of the designer series paper, and let me get these back into the right order. That's not it. That's not it. I had these in order. Maybe this was it. Oh, this is it. Okay. All right. So this is, I believe this was 3 by 4 1/4. I know that's right. And then I cut them into 1-inch strips, and I'm keeping them so that the design reads from right to left, or from left to right. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose adhesive. And I am going to make sure there's enough on there to get down in the grooves. It's a little bit heavier than I usually use. And I am going to take that to oh, maybe 3/8 of an inch from the, whoops, too high. There we go. And making, in my case, I'm making it this, approximately the same distance from top to bottom. Now I am going to adhere the other one that goes on the outside over here, and then I will put the center one in. That just kind of ensures that I have allowed for enough space to make my spacing equal distance on each side of the middle panel. And looks like that's about right. So I've got 2 different designer series papers in here. I've pre-cut the rings. I've pre-cut these panels. And about like such. That looks good. Then I am going to take my linen ribbon, or linen thread, and I'm going to wrap it around this 3 times. I'm adhering it on the back with Scotch tape. If you've watched me before, you know that I am perfectly fine using Scotch tape on the back. And I'm centering. That was just my choice of, okay. There we go. I'm on. As you get down into your spool of linen thread, it does start to have quite a twist on it. There we go. And there we are. So I've gone around twice. I have gone around 3 times. I will not add a bow until I am done with the front. So I'm going to add a piece of tape back here. I am not promoting this particular brand. It just happens to be what I have on hand. Get that out of the way. Now I can move this back over to my project bin. All right. So as we're assembling this, you're going to want to pay attention that if you use the designer series paper that I did, there is a one way to it, right? Acorns do not hang upside down like this. They hang very much, they dangle. So making sure that that is correct. I'm going to take this larger piece of ringed wood and I'm going to slide it underneath my ribbon, and I'm going to, or my linen thread, and I'm going to adhere it down right there. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose adhesive. And just about like that. Hold that down for just a second. Then I am going to use a couple of mini glue dots to adhere this smaller ring to this larger ring. I think I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to do something like that. So I'm going to put a few on here. And just adhere those two to each other like that. Then I'm going to use some dimensionals, one layer of dimensionals on the back. I use a lot of dimensionals on this card. I just realized I've got this out of, there we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. I had it out of frame. So this, I am going to straddle that ribbon, just about like that. I'm just kind of making a pile of wood. So now I have a whole bunch of little pieces that we're going to work with. I have, these are all die cuts. Let's see if I can get them out of here. I guess I'll just dump them out. So I've got some acorns, which I'm going to put together in an unusual, well, unusual to me way. I guess I'll go ahead and start with that. I'm going to use one dimensional and I'm going to apply that to the back of the acorn. This side is sticky. I'm going to pull the top and butt it up right there. And we have an acorn that's ready, that has a dimensional on the back. Then I'm going to add, I'm going to do the same thing on the next one, except that after I assemble this one, oh, well, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm actually going to make this one 2 layers thick. So there's that. And then I'm going to take another dimensional. Well, I'm going to pull a different one. I don't want the back to slide off. There we go. And I am just going to position this right over the top of the other one. So this one is double thick. This one is single. This one is double, and our acorns are assembled. Setting those off to one side. So I'm going to use these leaves, and I've got these leaves cut out. I've got 2 cut out of evening evergreen. I think I had this one down here and this one up here. I have 4 cut out of soft succulent. And then I have 2 cut out in Cajun Craze. And the 2 that are cut out in Cajun Craze, I'm actually just going to trim off the leaves. I'm not going to use the stems. Now, can you see the embossed detail? There's maybe not. Doesn't look like it. Sorry. Trust me, there is an embossed detail on one side of the leaves. So I have extreme allergies, extreme food allergies, and tonight I used a breading that's approved for celiac, people with celiac disease. And I had an allergic reaction, one of my other allergies. So that was maybe not the funnest thing I've done all day. It causes my throat to swell. Let's see, I'm going to slide this one in under here and just adhere this one flat down. And then this one, I'm going to do the same. I'm just putting some adhesive along the stem, letting those leaves lift up off the page if they want. So yeah, that made for some fun little excitement tonight as my husband and I were trying to get our evening pulled together. All right, next I am going to layer the soft succulent on top of these evening evergreen and then put a couple of more over here. So I'm going to start by putting this one over here, and I'm going to use a mini glue dot for this. I'm going to hide it down inside underneath the wood. There we go. And same thing here. And this isn't going to go in too terribly far. There we go. Then I am going to put a couple right over here. So I am I'm allergic to onions. Have been my entire life, not new. It does not say onions on this package of breading that I used tonight. And I can guarantee you that there were onions in the package. That's my little craziness. All right. So if you see my desktop getting lighter and darker, I have a computer on in front of me so that I can monitor the live. Excuse me. And when I don't touch the, as everybody knows, if you leave it alone, it's going to go dark. All right. So, ooh, that was a lot of adhesive, way more than I needed. Now let's see if I can place this and not wiggle it. I'll be okay. I'm going to, let's see. There we go. There's one. Just going to add 4 of these. You know what? I'm going to do mini glue dots now since I see that my glue is running hot. Hot as in fast. So I'm going to add a leaf here. I really enjoyed using that hybrid folder for the first time. That was, that cut out these rings and embossed them at the same time. I thought that was rather cool. I have not used a hybrid folder before. And I won't lie, I cannot wait to get back into the catalog and see which other ones are hybrids that maybe I can have some fun with. Whoops. All right. There's that part. We're going to bring back over our acorns. We're going to bring over, I like to stamp using my Stampin' Pearson mat. I like this particular background for stamping with. I am going to stamp my sentiment, which says love and warmth, using soft suede. That's one thing that I didn't tell you. So I'm using soft suede here for my card base and my card front, that embossed layer. Okay, not centered from side to side, but I did good from top to bottom. It's all right, I can adjust that. So what I will do is I'm going to cut this to be about the same distance. And then I'm going to do a modified flag cut. Modified as in it's not nearly as pointy as usual. There we go. So let's see if I found my middle. I did. So there's a whole bunch of things that are available for free. Yeah, see this one? Let's see. Let me try this again. I am going to cut this down a little bit. I've ended up with more of a point on one side than the other. By the time I add my bow, it may not be visible, but sure is going to drive me crazy unless I fix it. That's better. All right. Move these aside. I'm going to throw some dimensionals on the back here. We're actually almost done with this front. So this says Love and Warmth. And I think that's supposed to be sitting a little bit above. There we go, that's better, I think. And then I have my acorns. So the one that is single layer of dimensional, I'm going to apply first. Ooh, and it slid on me. I wonder if that's because of the heat. It is hot in here. Matter of fact, I hope y'all can't hear I have a fan running, right, a big old oscillating fan right next to me. And then the one that is 2 dimensionals deep, applying right next to it. And now I will tie I'm going to tie a double bow using my linen thread. I like to cut my linen thread from the spool before I tie my bow because I like to release the tension of the twist. Not everybody has that same school of thought, but that's my school of thought. Nobody's way is wrong or more right. Just what works for your hands. And there's my bow. And that's just going to sit that right there. But before I do, I'm going to pull all of my threads down. Let's see if I can do this. I can. And just cut them all right about even. I'm going to grab a mini glue dot. Put it right on the back of that knot. And I'm going to put it right at the top of those acorns. Just like that. Actually, oh, sorry, my head hit the camera. I'm going to move that just a little bit. Nope, it's not going to let me. I'm not going to force it. It's going to stay there. Okay, so now our card front is done and ready to be applied to our card base. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. Man, I keep pulling off the backs when I don't normally. All right. Use my take your pick tool to pull these backs off. Can't see. There we go. Oh my. Oh, I keep hitting that. My apologies. Okay. So now this is ready to be adhered to the front. And as you heard me mention at the beginning of the video, I realized as I was pulling all the pieces out, I didn't cut my inner cardstock yet, so I'm going to grab that. I'm using Very Vanilla because the background of this particular designer series paper, that's what it most closely matches, is the Very Vanilla. I am going to cut this at 3 3/4 by 5. I realize you probably can't see that. But there is my 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to stamp a couple of acorns down here in the corner. So I'm going to use crumb cake. Now the stamp here, these are mushroom tops or they are acorn bottoms. Okay, so I am just going to ink up 2 of those. Using the crumb cake. Just stamped them at full strength. And then I have an acorn top that I am going to stamp in soft suede. And there we go. That is now ready to be adhered to the inside of our card. And let's see if there's anything else I should be telling you. Other than, I already mentioned at the beginning that Sale-A-Bration is only running through the end of August. So if there are any of those freebies that you want, they are while supplies last. So there are 2 items that are already not available, the note cards, and that's not straight, and the Christmas lot dies. There we go. And there we go. And we have finished our card for the evening. Friends, thank you for joining me this evening. I will be posting this and updating my blog. It will probably be tomorrow instead of tonight. And I thank you so much for trusting me to be your demonstrator. And thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful evening. Hugs.